stopping short of blaming Russian President Putin for the air disaster, but he did say the separatists are armed and trained because of Russian support. So does the U.S. need to take action stronger than sanctions against Russia? Former UN Ambassador John Bolton joins us. Before I get to that, I want to ask you that apparently President Obama learned about this when he was on having a phone call about sanctions with President Putin. Why in the world? Why are we learning this from Putin? Don't we have the sophistication to watch the skies, especially over conflict areas? Why aren't we on top of that? Why are we learning from him?
I would think we would have been on top of it, but I think the fact that the president learns it from Putin is part and parcel of his lack of interest in national security affairs. I mean, I know it sounds counterintuitive.
Well, maybe no one ran it into him.
The president doesn't care, but I think that's exactly right. It's just not anything that motivates him. And so people don't run into him because they'd rather run in and tell him about something else.
Well, okay, so, we have this horrible situation in Ukraine, and so now what are we going to do? I mean, right now, everyone pretty much, it hasn't been proven conclusively, but it sure looks like Russia's up to their eyeballs, and at a minimum that they train the people. Maybe they're more involved with pressing the button on it. So what do we do?
Well, I think the president himself said today this should be a wake-up call, and then he proceeded in the rest of his remarks not to show that he hadn't woken up. This requires not just dealing with the particular circumstances of Ukraine, but understanding the nature of the regime you're after and what you have to do to stop this kind of irresponsible behavior that permits things like the shoot-down. And it's much more than calibrated sanctions that you escalate on a gradual basis to affect Vladimir Putin's behavior. If you don't administer shock to the system, you're not going to get a response.
Well, the whole world apparently is stunned by this. President Obama calling for an immediate ceasefire, which I think they probably rolled their eyes at, the rebels in Ukraine, because I don't think they care what an American president has to say. Why doesn't the president get together with Angela Merkel, Prime Minister Cameron, start getting some world leaders together and do something about this? Because now they're shooting down jets at 33,000 feet, innocent people.
He's going to lose the opportunity if he doesn't move quickly. And yet the international reaction, both in the Security Council at the UN today and what the president himself says, let's have an investigation. And
that'll take forever.
The president, it was amazing to behold. He was saying how important it is to do it in the next few hours, and then it's days and weeks. In his own voice, within a matter of seconds at the podium at the White House, he was out a month. So, look, Putin suffered a huge setback through this act of stupidity. It's a great tragedy, obviously. But the shooting down of this plane is a major setback for Russia in Ukraine. And it should be a major setback for his aspirations in Europe and the former Soviet Union. Every hour that goes by, we are giving him an escape hatch.
Well, I thought this ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, was strong today.
Well, my understanding from inside the State Department is that it was coordinated, that she gave a statement that really is where the rest of the country is. We all understand who was responsible for this, while the president was, I guess, leading from behind again. But it's trying to have the best of both worlds through two different statements. This is a kind of fine calibration of rhetoric that means nothing internationally.
Ambassador, thank you, sir.
Thank you.